Just a few days ago, former New England Patriots, former Miami Dolphin wide receiver, and new Philadelphia Eagle wide receiver Devontae Parker decided to hang up the cleats. Basically said, listen, this training camp shit, that ain't for me. I'm going to go into retirement, I'm going to hang up the cleats, and I'm going to leave the Eagles down a receiver. But with that being said, it's funny. The Eagles went into retirement, grabbed the guy who's been retired for a couple of years now, and signed John Ross. According to the Eagles themselves, they've tweeted out, we've signed wide receiver John Ross to a one-year deal. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know about John Ross, who he is, what he adds, and why I think this could be a pretty solid addition for the Eagles going forward, a low-risk potential, high reward at the end of the day. Now, before we jump into the video, comment down below a letter grade for the signing, but also give me a couple of guys that you've been so impressed with so far during OTAs. I know it's early, there's no pads, there's no contacts, but let me know who you guys have been impressed with so far. But with that being said, let's talk a little bit about John Ross. Now, John Ross is a guy who is a former first-round pick of the Cincinnati Bengals back in 2017, has played for about 5 seasons in total, and hasn't played since 2021. I think he spent time in Kansas City with the Chiefs, but since then has been retired. Now, you go back to 2019, he had his best season, only playing in 8 games, but had 28 receptions for over 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. Back in 2018, 21 catches, 58 targets, 210 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Guys, the man has less than 62 catches and 11 touchdowns. The touchdown to catch ratio is literally insane. Now, the thing about John Ross that is, really eye-opening is he can be utilized in quite a variety of different ways, right? He can line up in the backfield and be like a scout back, get the ball to him on a screen, and watch him work with that speed, right? But also, it's a guy that can run the football. You see he has 9 carries, only 41 yards, but is a guy who's been, at least utilized in that aspect of the game. A guy who's a burner, right? He can get behind the defense and make them, stay conservative when it comes to dropping back to safety. So I think it makes them a little bit more dynamic. Now, when you go over to the Eagles roster, and actually before we do this, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications, because we will be covering the Eagles throughout the entirety of the offseason. Now, what that includes is obviously OTAs, any signings, mini camp, training camp, preseason, regular season, everything you need to know. We got you guys covered. So make sure you guys join the family and turn on post notifications. But with that being said, you look at the roster right now, and you see a lot of young guys here on this second line, right? Obviously, we have Devontae, we have A.J. Brown, and Paris Campbell, who's coming over here from the New York Giants. But behind those guys, you have 2 rookies in Johnny Wilson and Anais Smith, right? Brendan Covey is a guy they like as well. But adding John Ross adds a new dynamic. A guy who can stretch the field, add some competition, has proved himself to be an actual good wide receiver in the NFL before, and a guy that maybe a change of scenery one more time could really help. Now, obviously, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got to continue to improve. When you look at the Eagles last season, they actually ranked number 12 in yards per pass. I think John Ross can help that category right away. But overall, I think this signing isn't one that is a lock to make the roster. But at the end of the day, it adds competition. Add someone who can come in here and make these other guys work harder, because Austin Watkins, Joseph Nada, Shaquan Davis, these guys are fighting for a job. John Ross, guy who's going to come in here and fight for a job as well, right? So I think he's going to make guys work harder. I think he's going to make practice more competitive, and just gives them another body to look at throughout training camp or preseason, right? So I do like the signing. I wouldn't even be too surprised if they go out and maybe add another receiver at some point during the rest of OTAs and mandatory minicamp before we get into training camp. But let me know what you guys think about the signing. I think it's low risk, potential high reward. If he doesn't pan out, you lose nothing. If he does pan out, you add a wide receiver to your team, right? A deep threat, a guy who can play in the backfield as running back, as a scat back, as a guy who can make plays happen when he has the ball in his hand. So I do like the addition. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, and I'll see you guys in the next Eagles update. Peace.